I need to be completely candid with you right now. Today, April 6th, marks a profound shift. And I'm not talking about a subtle energetic flutter or a gentle cosmic suggestion. We're on the precipice of one of the most intense, volatile, and genuinely life-altering weeks of this entire year. And the most astonishing part, most people are utterly oblivious to what's rapidly approaching. So, here's precisely why I'm recording this message today. April 5th, the day before it all truly begins. Because once we cross the threshold into April 6th, the momentum will become so swift, so utterly relentless, that there simply won't be a moment left for preparation. I genuinely believe that with a clear understanding of these unfolding energies, you can navigate this week in a way that profoundly transforms your life for the better. But if you face it blindly, this powerful current could absolutely destabilize you. And if you've been sensing this peculiar, restless energy building recently, like something is on the verge of erupting, yet you can't quite pinpoint what it is, then please stay with me on this journey. There's a very specific astrological blueprint behind that premonition, and I'm going to reveal exactly why. By Wednesday, April 9th, you might experience the single most powerful jolt of momentum you felt in months. But before we arrive at that pivotal point, I need you to grasp what makes this entire week so distinctly different from anything we've experienced lately. The universe has essentially removed all the brakes, and that changes absolutely everything. So, here's a crucial phenomenon that's happening right now, which almost no one is discussing. Typically, at any given moment, there are several planets moving in retrograde. And I know retrograde often gets a bad rap, but here's the truth. Retrograde motion actually serves a vital purpose. It's a cosmic slowing down mechanism. It creates these natural pauses, periods for reflection, reassessment, and a much-needed breath before we surge forward. But right now, throughout the entire month of April, there are precisely 0 planets in retrograde. None. And I want you to fully comprehend the magnitude of that, because this is monumental. When there are no retrogrades, astrologers refer to it as a green light configuration. It's as if the universe has just swept away every single speed bump, every cautionary sign, every moment of hesitation. The momentum is completely unhindered, unblocked, and absolutely electric. And I believe that means everything for how events will unfold. Decisions, conflicts, breakthroughs, significant changes. They are all poised to manifest with startling, almost instantaneous immediacy. Think about it like this. When you're driving and suddenly you realize all the traffic lights ahead are green, what's your instinct? You accelerate. You move faster, with a sense of exhilarating freedom, because there's nothing to stop you. That's precisely what's happening energetically across the board right now. But here's where it gets intensely complex. Not everyone should be accelerating. Not every direction is the right one to take. And without those natural built-in pauses that retrogrades provide, people are going to make impulsive decisions they simply can't retract. Honestly, I've been feeling this building pressure within myself. There's this palpable urgency in the air, this undeniable sense that we need to move, and move now. But the critical insight lies in understanding. Where's to direct that unleashed momentum? Because starting today, that pressure is about to explode in ways that I anticipate will catch most people utterly off guard. April 8th. Something sudden is about to break through. Okay, so Wednesday, April 8th. This is the first major shockwave, and I absolutely need you to pay close attention to this one, because the energy of this day is extraordinarily unpredictable. On April 8th, around noon UTC, Mars forms a sextile aspect to Uranus. Now, ordinarily, a sextile is considered harmonious, right? It's a supportive, flowing angle. But here's what makes this particular one completely different. And honestly, this realization sent chills down my spine. Both Mars and Uranus are positioned at exactly 29 degrees of their respective signs. Mars at 29 degrees of Pisces, Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. And in astrology, the 29th degree is famously known as the Canaretic degrees, or the degree of fate. It represents the absolute final, culminating point before a planet transitions into a completely new sign. The energy at this degree is urgent, explosive, and imbued with an intense, now or never quality, acting like a final pressure release valve. So, what does that signify for April 8th? I anticipate we're going to witness sudden, unexpected events, particularly reverberating through financial markets, technological sectors, and global geopolitical situations. Uranus is the cosmic disruptor. It governs sudden shocks, technological breakthroughs or breakdowns, and revolutionary change. And in Taurus, it has been systematically shaking up everything related to money, resources, and our fundamental material security since 2018. This aspect on April 8th is like one final, massive release of all that pent-up revolutionary energy. And Mars? Mars embodies action, aggression, and raw physical energy. At 29 degrees of Pisces, a sign that rules the oceans, hidden things, and dissolution. There's this profound sense of hidden forces abruptly becoming visible. Things that have been quietly brewing beneath the surface are about to erupt into plain sight. Now, am I suggesting the sky is falling and everyone should descend into panic? No, absolutely not. But I am emphatically saying you need to be consciously prepared for the highly unexpected on April 8th. If you're tracking financial markets, anticipate significant volatility. If you're involved in any kind of negotiation or deal, brace yourself for sudden, unforeseen shifts. And on a deeply personal level, you might experience unexpected news or abrupt alterations to plans you thought were rock solid. The energy of this day is electric, charged, and utterly unpredictable. So, here's my advice. Do not initiate anything major on April 8th. Do not commit to irreversible decisions. Instead, simply observe. Allow the shocks to unfold. Process the information, and then wait, because what follows is even more significant. April 9th. Everything you've been waiting for suddenly feels possible. Remember when I mentioned there's a very specific reason you might feel a massive shift on April 9th? This is it. And honestly, this is the moment I've been most eager to illuminate for you. On Thursday, April 9th, at 3036 p.m. UTC, Mars courageously enters Aries. And I genuinely cannot overstate how monumentally significant this transit is. Mars is the ancient planetary ruler of Aries. When a planet enters its home sign, the sign it intrinsically rules, it operates at its maximum, unadulterated power. And Mars in Aries? That's pure, unfiltered, concentrated energy of initiation, decisive action, and unyielding forward movement. For the past several weeks, Mars has been navigating the watery depths of Pisces. And if you've been feeling stuck, confused, or like you're trying to push through a thick, obscuring fog, there's a very good reason for that. Mars in Pisces is akin to trying to start a roaring fire underwater. The energy is present, but is diffused, unclear, and frankly, quite frustrating. But the instant Mars crosses that celestial boundary into Aries on April 9th, it's like someone just powerfully flipped a switch. The fog lifts. The confusion instantly clears, and suddenly you're infused with an undeniable physical and mental readiness to take decisive action on things that have been stalled for weeks, or even months. I truly believe this is going to feel like waking up from a long, paralyzing sleep, a potent surge of clarity and invigoration. You know those decisions you've been agonizing over, those difficult conversations you've been expertly avoiding, those crucial changes you instinctively know you need to make, but haven't quite mustered the courage to execute. On April 9th, you're suddenly going to feel ready. and I mean truly is ready to tackle them head-on. But here's where I must issue a crucial warning, and this is important. Mars in Aries is inherently impulsive. It's impatient. It wants to act now, without fully contemplating the potential consequences. And while that untamed energy can be incredibly powerful for breaking through long-standing obstacles, it can also lead to rash decisions that inflict unnecessary damage. So yes, by all means, harness this dynamic energy. Use it to finally make those moves you've been procrastinating. Set those long overdue boundaries. Have those challenging conversations. Launch that project with fierce determination. But, and I truly want you to internalize this, take a deep breath first. Formulate a plan. Know precisely where you're directing this potent fire before you light it. Because once Mars is fully in Aries, its momentum will become almost impossible to rein in. And this energy doesn't exist in isolation. Something else happens on April 9th that's going to bring hidden truths roaring to the surface in a way that might prove uncomfortable for many. The truths you've been diligently avoiding, they're about to demand your full and undivided attention. So, earlier on April 9th, at 12,003 in the afternoon, Venus forms a quincunx aspect to Black Moon Lilith. And if that sounds astrologically complex, allow me to break it down in a way that will make profound sense once you begin to feel its influence. Venus is currently in Taurus, which is one of its home signs. Venus in Taurus is all about seeking comfort, ensuring stability, appreciating conventional beauty and, above all, maintaining peace. It embodies the energy of, let's keep things pleasant and gracefully avoid rocking the boat. Does that resonate with your experiences? But Black Moon Lilith, she represents the wild, untamed, deeply suppressed parts of ourselves. She embodies the truths we've been told to hide, the righteous rage we've been systematically taught to swallow, the authentic desires we've been shamed for even having. And when Venus and Lilith form this awkward, tension-filled quincunx aspect, there arises an almost unbearable tension between the impulse to maintain surface-level comfort and the undeniable urge to speak uncomfortable truths. I believe what's going to transpire on April 9th, and honestly, it might have already begun subtly, is that people will find it utterly impossible to keep pretending. Relationships where someone has been quietly, chronically unhappy are going to reach an undeniable breaking point. Financial situations where someone has been meticulously hiding spending or debt are going to be exposed. Situations where you've consistently prioritized other people's comfort over your own authentic truth are simply going to become intolerable. And here's what I want you to know. If you've been sensing this building pressure to speak up about something crucial, to finally address an issue you've been diligently avoiding, to stop pretending everything is fine when it's demonstrably not, April 9th is when that pressure reaches its absolute peak. You can either choose to address it consciously and with intention, taking proactive steps, or it's going to explosively erupt out of you in ways you can't fully control. This isn't about being destructive or unnecessarily burning bridges, but it is fundamentally about honoring your deepest truth. And sometimes the truth is inherently uncomfortable. Sometimes it irrevocably disrupts a false sense of peace. And I truly believe that on April 9th, maintaining that false peace is going to feel far more painful than bravely facing the real issue head-on. So, if there's something you've been sweeping under the rug in your relationships, your finances, your career, April 9th is the day it's going to demand your full attention. And honestly, that might be exactly what truly needs to happen for your liberation. April 10th. The structure that's been holding you back is about to crack. Okay, so by the time we reach Friday, April 10th, we've already navigated a significant amount of intensity, right? The sudden shocks of April 8th, followed by the massive energy shift and profound truth-telling of April 9th. And now, on April 10th, At 1 AMSSEE UTC, we experience the last quarter moon in Capricorn. And I know lunar phases can often seem subtle, but this particular one is profoundly significant. Here's why. The last quarter. Moon is always a pivotal moment for release and honest evaluation. It's that precise point in the lunar cycle where we are compelled to look critically at what we've built or committed to during the previous weeks and ask ourselves with unflinching honesty, is this truly working for me anymore? And if it's demonstrably not, we are presented with the imperative to consciously let it go. But this last quarter moon is in Capricorn, the authoritative sign that rules structures, authority figures, career paths, public reputation, and long-term plans. And it's forming a harsh square aspect to the dynamic sun in Aries. So, what we have is a powerful, seismic clash between the old, established ways of doing things, represented by Capricorn, and the new, urgent, forward-driving desire for change and action, embodied by Aries. I believe what's going to manifest on April 10th is that any career path, business model, relationship structure, or fundamental life plan that has been feeling too heavy, too restrictive, or just fundamentally misaligned with your authentic self is going to reach an undeniable breaking point. The universe is going to make it crystal clear through undeniable circumstances that you simply cannot carry this particular burden or outdated paradigm into your next chapter. And here's the often painful truth. You might have been trying to force something to work through sheer willpower. You might have been diligently telling yourself, I just need to try harder, be more disciplined, stick it out a little longer. But I genuinely believe that on April 10th, the sheer exhaustion of maintaining something that is fundamentally not aligned with your true purpose is going to become undeniable, physically and emotionally. This is, in essence, the universe's deadline. If you've been clinging desperately to an outdated ambition, a toxic work environment, a failing partnership, or a self-limiting mentality of struggle, as the document I read vividly described it, April 10th is the day you absolutely need to release it. Because if you don't consciously and intentionally let it go, the immense pressure of the upcoming energetic shifts is going to force its collapse anyway. And it is immeasurably less painful to release something with intention and grace than to have it violently crumble beneath you. I've been there myself. I've held on to things far past their expiration date because I was terrified of the perceived void that would inevitably follow. But here's the profound lesson I learned. You cannot truly receive the new and the aligned until you bravely release the old and the outworn. And I sincerely think April 10th will serve as that moment of necessary, transformative release for so many of us. The weekend warning. When reality starts to blur, April 11th and 12th. So, we make it through this incredibly intense first half of the week. And you might be thinking, okay, the weekend. I can finally catch my breath, process everything, and find some calm. But here's where I need to issue a serious warning regarding April 11th and 12th. There's a major astrological aspect building powerfully over the weekend that doesn't technically perfect until Monday, April 13th, but its influence is going to be profoundly potent and pervasive throughout the entire weekend. Mars is moving toward an exact conjunction with Neptune in Aries. And this combination, honestly, is one of the trickiest and most deceptive energies to navigate in astrology. Here's what precisely happens when the action-oriented Mars and the dissolving, illusory Neptune come together. Mars craves action, to fight, to assert, to boldly move forward. Neptune, on the other hand, dissolves boundaries, creates mesmerizing illusions, and clouds judgment, blurring the lines of reality. So when these two powerful forces combine, you get forceful action taken on behalf of an illusion. You get aggression in service of a mere fantasy. You get the fierce, passionate energy of fighting ardently for something that simply isn't real. In mundane astrology, which deals with global events, This aspect is quite literally termed the fog of war. It's historically associated with widespread deception, pervasive propaganda, insidious false flags, and populations being manipulated into fighting for causes based on outright lies. And I know that sounds incredibly dark, but I think it's vitally important that you deeply understand this. Over the weekend of April 11th and 12th, be extremely discerning about what information you're consuming and what narratives you're allowing yourself to buy into. If something is making you feel intensely outraged, if something is triggering a visceral emotional response and a sudden, overwhelming desire to take immediate action, pause this. Question it. Verify your sources meticulously. Because the Mars, Neptune energy is masterfully designed to bypass your critical thinking faculties and appeal directly, powerfully to your raw emotions. You're going to witness this playing out aggressively on social media, dominating news cycles, and tragically erupting in interpersonal conflicts. People will be absolutely convinced they're fighting for absolute truth and unwavering justice, but the very foundation they're standing on is going to be treacherous quicksand. Does that make sense? And on a personal level, this energy is going to be physically and emotionally exhausting. You might experience this strange, paradoxical combination of restless, anxious energy and complete depletion simultaneously. It's like you want to do something, but you have no discernible idea what. Or you feel this urgent need to act, but you're too utterly drained to follow through. It's the energetic equivalent of pressing the gas and the brake pedal at the exact same time, and it's going to wear you out completely. My strongest advice for April 11th and 12th, rest. Prioritize deep rest. Do not make major decisions. Do not sign contracts. Do not engage in difficult confrontations. Do not launch anything important or irreversible. Simply observe, meticulously gather information, fiercely protect your energy, and patiently wait for the fog to unequivocally clear, because it will clear. But not until after this powerful aspect has fully passed. How to actually navigate this week without losing yourself. Okay, so I shared a lot of incredibly intense information. And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, I completely understand. This is a monumental amount to process. But here's the crucial thing I want you to know. This potent energy isn't here to destroy you. I truly believe it's here to powerfully break you out of old patterns that have been keeping you stuck, holding you back from your highest potential. So, how do you actually navigate this transformative week with intention and grace? Here's what I believe will provide invaluable support. First, between now and April 9th, get incredibly, uncompromisingly clear on what you actually want to create, to change, to manifest. Because when Mars makes its grand entrance into Aries on the 9th, you're going to experience an unprecedented surge of powerful, activating energy to take action. But if you lack clarity on where to direct that raw power, you're going to inadvertently waste it on impulsive reactions that you'll undoubtedly regret later. So, dedicate today, April 6th and April 7th, to deeply reflecting on what specifically needs to change, what firm boundaries need to be set, what ambitious projects need to be courageously launched. Get crystal clear now. So when that inner fire ignites on April 9th, you know exactly where to aim it with laser precision. Second, on April 8th specifically, cultivate profound flexibility. Do not be rigidly attached to any plans. Expect the absolutely unexpected, and consciously choose to roll with whatever unpredictable shifts arise. This is not a day for rigid control or stubborn adherence. It is a day for supreme adaptability, like a reed bending gracefully in the wind. Third, on April 9th and 10th, practice radical honesty. Bravely face the truths you've been artfully avoiding. Have those difficult yet liberating conversations. Consciously release what is clearly no longer serving your highest good. This is your powerful window to intentionally shed the dead weight that needs to go before the universe, in its infinite wisdom, forces the issue in a less comfortable way. And finally, protect yourself fiercely over the weekend. I cannot emphasize this enough. Turn off the news entirely if you need to. Severely limit your social media consumption. Do not allow yourself to be sucked into other people's drama or emotionally charged conflicts. Do not, under any circumstances, let yourself be manipulated by emotional appeals or deceptive propaganda. Rest your body deeply. Ground yourself in nature if you possibly can, and patiently wait for the fog of confusion to fully lift before making any major moves or commitments. This week is going to be intense. There's absolutely no question about it. But I genuinely believe that if you navigate it consciously, with unwavering awareness and strategic intention, you can emerge on the other side having made profound breakthroughs that have been months or even years in the making. You can shed significant dead weight, establish empowering new boundaries, and courageously step into a version of yourself that is far more authentic, more deeply aligned with your soul, and honestly, simply more free. But it absolutely requires awareness. It requires intentionality, and it requires you to not just react blindly to the intense energy, but to actively work with it strategically, like a seasoned navigator charting a course through a powerful storm. You're being prepared for something bigger. And here's what I truly believe is happening beneath all of this raw intensity. This week isn't random. It's not just chaotic energy for chaos's sake. I believe the second week of April is an initiation point. It's the universe testing you, preparing you, and quite frankly, forcing you to level up, to expand into your next evolutionary stage. Because here's the broader context. Later this month, on April 25th, Uranus is going to enter Gemini. That is a massive astrological transit that only occurs once every 7 years. And when Uranus changes signs, it invariably revolutionizes entire areas of human civilization. The way we communicate, the way we learn, the very technology we use, the information we consume. All of it is poised to undergo radical, disruptive transformation. But before you can gracefully step into that dynamic new paradigm, you absolutely must shed the old one. And I think that's precisely what this week is designed for. It's clearing out the old debris. It's forcing you to bravely face what's no longer working. It's imbuing you with the courage and the fierce urgency to finally make those pivotal changes you've been putting off for far too long. You're not just merely surviving this week. You're being meticulously prepared for a completely new, exhilarating chapter that is about to powerfully begin. And honestly, I'm truly excited for you, because as intense as this week is undoubtedly going to be, I wholeheartedly believe what's waiting for you on the other side of it is going to be profoundly, utterly worth it. All right, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching and staying with me through this vital message. If this resonated with you, and you want to stay updated as we navigate through this incredibly potent week, I would deeply appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And please, I encourage you to drop a comment below. I genuinely want to hear how you're feeling going into this week. Are you already sensing this building? Electric energy? What are you most concerned about? What are you most excited to powerfully manifest? Let's support each other through this because, honestly, we're all in this cosmic journey together. Take exquisite care of yourself this week. Stay grounded in your truth. Trust your innate intuition. And I'll see you on the other side of this magnificent cosmic storm.